Hello everyone, Bashar here. So these incompetent fellows, I will try to be polite about them. Yeah, finally managed to release a patch after a 2 week long vacation. I commend them for being able to, bring together a holiday that's like 2 or 3 days, which is Easter, and the Anzac National Day, that's one day. And apparently, 3 plus 1 adds up to 14. Yeah, so I am very salty about this, right? You might have noticed that my great enthusiasm for the game has waned a little bit. Anyway, I shall not dwell on it. So they have been able to release patch 02G, not without a rollback, of course. They managed to remove skill gems from everyone's inventory. They rolled the patch back after a few hours. They managed to put the patch back on. And I know these are not patch notes, but this has a little bit more detail, so I wanted to go over it. I would say the damage has been done, right? The game was in a very bad shape when they decided to take that 2 week vacation, and a lot of people have quit, right? Those of you that still play, I still play, of course, right? I mean, I do have a go at them, but the game is great. But a lot of people have quit, right? I mean, I lost all appetite in trading. Now I was constantly buying and selling stuff, and when you do not sell stuff, you kind of lose the tendency to buy stuff. Anyway, my videos are already long, right? Let's get to it. So guys, they said that the game wasn't very rewarding. Yeah, I'm glad you caught on that, right? Caught on that. A lot of people were complaining about how they got to the end game and they were not able to get anything to sell, so they couldn't get the gear right, because not everyone has the knowledge to flip, right? I mean, buy for 1 divine, sell for 2, buy for 3, sell for 4. That's not very easy to pull off, right? I mean, the stuff that's easily flippable like that, there is a lot of competition. So, we haven't been getting enough drops, long story short. So, the wisps were laughable. And thing is, they have said something here, plus 2 drops and 300%. I do not believe this, right? I think that's a lie. Because guys, you might have seen me mock the wisps on stream, right? And there were numerous times that I got nothing from the wisp, right? And in my curiosity, I pressed Alt or Z, whatever it is, right? The thing that shows the loot, and I would see like 2 magic items or something, right? I mean, it's not like I was getting a ton of rares and the filter was blocking them. No. They were dropping nothing. So plus 2 drops plus 300% rarity, I don't think that's correct, right? I mean, maybe they tried to do that, right? But there was some sort of bug and it wasn't getting applied, something like that, because the wisps were definitely not dropping. So they were dropping loot like a regular rare, if not worse. That's my experience. So supposedly that was the deal, and also every monster the wisp touched while you were chasing it down also increased the amount of rarity. Yeah, but in reality we were getting garbage. So what did they do? What they did? So they lowered the amount of rarity that's needed to prevent normal items from dropping, right? So we will be getting a lower amount of normal items. And you might have noticed that we were getting a lot of gold. So now gold drops have been halved, and instead of, so that means a lot of the loot table is empty, right? And that loot pile will now include equipment or rare currency, as they term it. Rare currency, and you might think about valuable stuff. Rare currency means like alchemy, exalted regal, right? Rare currency in air quotes, I would say. I mean, but of course, it's better than gold, right? Okay, so now when you kill something with high rarity, the weak stuff will drop less frequently, right? Gold, magic currency, quality currency, flask, charm, rune, they will drop less frequently, and that means 20 or 30% more rare currency. So guys, we are going to get more elks, regals, exalteds, divines, I'm guessing. So that's pretty good. And now this is pretty important. Tier 2 rares drop 4 times more often. 4 times more often is 300% buff, guys. That's big. So they weren't dropping very often, but I think this means they will be dropping infrequently. And also tier 3 to 5 items drop 30% more often. And they have also improved the mods on the tiered rares, so they are a little bit better, because you might recall picking up a tier 5 rare from the ground to find it garbage, right? I mean, they can still be bad, but they are a little bit improved. And the thing is, guys, this gives a little bit of info on how the tier rares were, because I was making stuff up by myself. I thought a tier 5 rare would mean that it can't have tier 4 rolls on it. That's not the case, so this is a little bit more. That's why I'm going over this instead of the patch notes. I am going to go over the patch notes as well, but I don't want to keep it too long. It's already 6 minutes. Oh my god, guys. God. I really am not very pleased with myself, like the way I talk, and the videos are always 40 minutes. That's how it goes. Life of a teacher, I suppose. Anyways, I'm feeling a little bit hot. Tier 2 and higher magic items drop now 5 times more often. That's pretty good. And the low level mod culling of tiered magics, that means, I guess, that's a little bit interestingly worded. I'm guessing that means affixes that are not allowed on tiered magic items, right? And if a lot of garbage is not allowed, that means they are going to be good. So, and multiple tier 5 magic items can be pretty good for recombination. That's not very popular. And also, yeah. So these changes significantly improve the effect of item rarity as the quality on the items you receive. Overall, you should see significantly better items when killing more challenging content. That's finally, I would say. One side effect of this change would have been to make player item rarity that you get on mods on your gear to more valuable also, which is not our intention. In order to counter that, we have reduced the effect that these mods have. I mean, yeah, they can't do a proper buff, can they? So does that mean items can roll with lower rarity, or the effect of rarity is reduced? Okay. We have also lowered the map item rarity mods that, yeah, I mean, you could have like 150% rarity on a map. I guess they reduced that as well. And the unique bosses have been added a guaranteed rare, with the exception of the first few bosses in campaign, right? So when you kill a unique boss, you will always get at least a rare item. That's also nice. Wisps, rare, so rare monsters possessed by Azmirian Wisps now always drop a rare item. Yeah, I mean, I suppose they are upgraded to boss level, because bosses also drop always a rare item. That's what I meant. Okay, chests have been improved. In cruel difficulty, chests get a further, yeah. Magic chests have drastically increased item rarity and quantity. Rare chests as well, and guarantee at least one rare item. Yeah, guys, now chests are a little bit more interesting. In cruel difficulty, chests get a further 50% item quantity and rarity. 100% more in the end game. Whoa. Oh. Whoa. So I was a big fan of the rare expedition chest. It's gonna get insane, I guess. Similar thing with strong boxes. That's nice. Trial of the Sekimas. Chests are getting buffed. Jewel chest and currency chests are better. Okay. Trial of Chaos. Corrupted rares are no longer part of the rewards. Okay. Yeah, I mean, guys, when an item is corrupted, it's very limiting, right? First of all, it has to have its sockets and it has to have its quality. If it's without sockets and quality, you are losing a lot of value, right? Imagine you get a great rare item, chest, and it has one socket. Boom, 25% evasion, armor, and energy shield gone, right? It's a problem. So, when I say great, it was going to be worth like 5 divine, maybe, let's say. But thanks to missing that socket, it goes like 3 or 2 divine. Yeah, that's a bit of a loss. I mean, they should make them drop with everything already applied, and they wouldn't make that, right? I mean, it's GGG we are talking about. So yeah, that's what they did. Expedition. So guys, they talked about this. Expedition and magic chests now have the same base balance. Yeah. So guys, that means Expedition is gonna be really powerful because those chests weren't too bad, right? And rare chests were insane before this. I kind of want to, do an Expedition and open a rare chest now. Because as I said, they were... So guys, a rare Expedition chest would not yield anything lower than like 5 Exalted, right? Or at least, stuff with the potential, right? Currency worth 1 or 2 Exalteds and stuff, right? And now, Expedition artifacts that drop are doubled. Exotic coinage that drop is increased by 50%. And thing is, you could say, this would flood the market with those and they would be, even more worthless. I don't think that's the case because by buffing the magic items, magic tiered items, they are going to make recombination a little bit more viable. And we know how recombination spends them, right? Spends hundreds at once. So, yeah, they could be a little bit more valuable. Delirium as well. Okay. Breach Splinter drop rate is 50%. So let's actually... So guys, this was the thing that I wanted to talk about, and that's why I did this, because I don't think this is included in the patch notes. Let me find the patch notes. There it is. So guys, now we are going to go over the patch notes. Because they don't mention the changes to Simulacrum, etc. in that text. In here, we have it. We went over this. Tier 2 rare items drop 4 times more often. Okay, we have gone over these. We have gone over these as well. These as well. These as well. Yeah, I didn't skip this. Let's go over this. Reduce the variance in the number of items strong boxes drop. They should more constantly drop a good number of items. So yeah, guys, I mean, you could, sometimes get nothing, and you could sometimes get like 3 rares. So it's going to be a little bit more balanced now. All great. Trial of Sekimas has been buffed. Trial of Expedition. Yeah, we have a little bit more detail here, as you can see. Several Expedition remnant downsides have been adjusted. That's pretty important, right? Because guys, the most challenging content in this game is actually Expedition Masters, right? Arbitrary difficulty 4 has nothing on it. I mean, Simulacrum could also be a candidate, but the thing is, Simulacrum is that hard because of the Delirious level, right? When you give something 96% damage reduction, which was the case for Simulacrum 4, right? The end waves of Simulacrum 4 was indeed a 96% damage reduction. That's why it was challenging, right? Expedition Masters don't have any kind of bonus, and they are insane, right? I mean, you would stack up the remnants the wrong way, they would become gods, right? Unkillable, one-shot you from off-screen, right? My most traumatic experience in Path of Exile 2, I think, was that I was doing a relatively low-level Expedition logbook, right? And I was doing it, and I had a lot of XP, guys. I was close to level. So I'm minding my own business, killing a few monsters, bang, I'm dead, right? I'm like, what's going on, right? I didn't see anything. Nothing was in my screen. And full HP, full energy, and so on, right? I died. And being the idiot that I am, I go inside again. I'm like, I'm gonna handle it this time. Bang, I die again. Bang, I die again. 30% XP lost, map closes. I still haven't seen, I mean, by the time I died, I still haven't seen the monster that was one-shotting me from off-screen, right? I mean, I guess you could argue it's a skill issue or, git good, but, I mean, that wasn't very pleasant, right? Because, guys, in the Expedition logbooks, I don't know if you know this is an important thing, I realized this a little bit later, when you do an expedition, guys, the remnants, the affixes that remnants give, actually are valid for everything in there. right? And imagine in a logbook you do like 30 explosives. All of the attributes that you stack there go for everyone, right? Lightning immune, cold immune, break armor, have 600% increased crit chance against full HP, blah, 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 blah. They become insane, right? So they are going to tone that down a little bit. Buffed the rewards from most expedition remnant modes, that's good. Yeah, double the number of expedition artifacts that dropped. Exotic coinage 50%. Yeah. 100% chance of avoiding chill being chilled, frozen, ignited, shocked has been replaced with a new modifier. Okay, that's also good. Okay. Now guys, the thing that I wanted. So the most challenging content in the game, if you don't make the exception that I make, is Delirium, right? Simulacrum difficulty 4 goes up to 140%, 96% damage reduction, 35% damage increase, and it's insane, right? So you might have followed my Lightning Crossbow Deadeye character, which is pretty good, right? I couldn't do Simulacrum difficulty 1, right? So I did base Simulacrum difficulty, right? And I couldn't do Simulacrum difficulty 1. And I think, guys, if I tried, I could have, right? A few tries and I could have, but Simulacrum difficulty 4 was absolutely impossible, right? And that's a little bit weird, right? Because I am able to do Pinnacle content difficulty 4 bosses, but I can't do Simulacrum 1, right? There is a problem. And the thing is, on season 0, I was humbled even more. I had another Deadeye there, Lightning Arrow, insanely good bow, right? I had a pretty decent gear, but it was pure evasion, no energy shield, and I wasn't able to do Simulacrum difficulty 0. Yeah. So that kind of puts it into a bit of a perspective, right? That was a little bit too good. So now they changed it. So increase the amount of item rarity per depth in Delirium encounters. As you know, guys, you break the mirror and you keep killing monsters, and the further you get away from the mirror, the stronger the monsters are, right? So that has been toned down a little bit. They get stronger, but by not that much, right? And you get a little more rarity. So Simulacrum has been nerfed quite a bit. Now the way it works is, guys, it would start off from somewhere and the deliveries would keep increasing 10% per wave, and it would get to 100% by wave 10. That's Simulacrum difficulty 0, and that was, mighty annoying. Now it's going to be 5% per level, and it's not going to cap at 10, but it's going to cap at 15, right? It's going to cap at the last wave. So guys, the way it worked was, it was capping at wave 10, and you had to go through waves 10 to 15 at max delirium level. Now it's just going to get capped, and that means, guys, Simulacrum difficulty 0 will have a cap of 75% delirious instead of 100%, right? And difficulty 1 is going to be 85%, 95, 105, and 115%. I would say that would make it much more doable. Many Simulacrum modifiers have had the benefits they provide to delirium monsters reduced. Yeah, that's also pretty important. They would get ailment threshold, and it would be a nightmare. Okay, guys, this is going to be very good for those of you that have recently got into the end game, or are going to get into the end game in a recent time. So now you get 5 skill points per corrupted nexus, right? Up from 2, so you need to find a total of 6 only instead of 15. On top of that, they have been improved for visibility, so you can spot them from further afar. Yeah, this has been made rather easy. Breed splinter drop rates have been increased by 50%. Delirium splinters have been improved by 80%. And audiences with the king have been improved by 50%. Yeah, and they were quite worthless anyway. Yeah, it's gonna be. We have some balance changes, which is somewhat interesting because, guys, Trinity, I have never seen anyone use Trinity. I don't see the reason of it being nerfed, but I'm sure it was getting used somewhere. It's interesting. I mean, Lightning Spear doesn't get hit, but Trinity does. So Yeah, Trinity has been nerfed. Some charm, unique charm has been nerfed. Bursting Plague has been nerfed. Star Conja's head. Lightning Bolt at radius. I mean, these are no. A flash grenade was a little bit silly, right? It could blind you or your party members. Now it can't do that. Yeah, should have been done a long time ago. Okay, in Scepters, Wand, and Staves, you know, we had sockets arrive on these very recently. Now they can get an additional socket from Corruption. Important. And that means, you know, it was not possible to get an additional socket on Scepters, Wand, and Staves before. Now it is possible. Number of monsters in Trial of Chaos, yeah. So guys, Trial of Chaos was way too hard, and they have been nerfing Trial of Chaos big time. So it's been nerfed again for those of you that wanna do the ascendances there. Some few monsters, the Faridun Plaguebringer, that's important guys. In the campaign, those gank us quite a bit. Faridun Plaguebringer's Detonate Dead skill has as damage, it's slightly lower than the visual effects improved. That's good. So guys, that's about it. We have a few bug fixes. Long live patch 02G. Let's see how it goes, and I will see you on the stream. Bye bye.